I will now open it up for public comment. I'll make a deal with everybody who's going to speak. I won't limit your time if you will agree that you'll be considerate of the fact that there's a fair number of people that want to speak. And when we're done with this issue, we're still going to be here. So I'm not going to cut you off at an arbitrary 3 minutes or something like that, but I would ask you to be very considerate of the fact that there's a fair number of people who have signed up. So I'm going to call you in the order that I do have you signed up, and the first person I have is John Stoner.
Council members, I appreciate you for having this public discussion today. My name is John Stoner, and I just wanted to break in on the video surveillance pilot program and give you what I had found, some information that was taken from an article written by Lauren Siegel, Robert Perry, Margaret Hunt Graham on behalf of the New York Civil Liberties Union. And this is an article is called Who's Watching? Video Surveillance in New York City and the Need for Public Oversight. Give you a little background on myself. Just recently I was elected a GOP precinct leader, county delegate, congressional delegate, state delegate, and I plan on running for national delegate as well because I wanted to be a part of my community. I wanted to persuade representatives to rein in spending, follow the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and really restore the confidence back in local government as well as national government. So that's why I'm here today. Those are the very reasons that I'm here. I think it's a really important question that we ask. Have you ever been to a political event? Have you ever been to an MMJ center? Have you ever been to a physician's office for treatment? Have you ever gone out to dinner downtown in Colorado Springs or to a nightclub to enjoy yourself? Have you ever been to the park to read a book or meet with someone for a private conversation? Have you ever sent a private text message to a client as you're walking down the street? Those are all questions we need to ask because you might feel differently if you knew someone was tracking you and watching every step of the way what you were doing, every step of the way. The fact is, since 9/11, surveillance cameras in public areas have skyrocketed, and our lawmakers have done very little to keep up with it. Video surveillance cameras can be operated with almost no legal consent or consequence. Proponents of video surveillance, like today, want us to spend $188,000 on a pilot system that is unproven and an additional $25,000 a year to maintain that system. They contend that the cameras are going to enhance the public safety of our downtown area. However, video images may assist criminal investigators after the fact. Cameras are not actually going to deter a crime. A camera will not stop me from punching you in the face. I ask you that you consider quality of life issues that rarely come into the deliberations between policing and security, mainly the issues that have to do with privacy, speech, expression, and association, that these cameras may actually cause our citizens not to come downtown to these businesses because they don't want to be seen in an area or the purview of the government. I do ask you to consider that how powerful the cameras are. As Chief Carey has said, the cameras really have superhuman vision. They can tilt and pan and rotate and make it increasingly easy to follow your every action downtown. How powerful are they? This is Sarah Dudridge from Financial Times reporter in England describing an experience with a London police camera operator. The reason I bring this up, London, England has more cameras per capita than anywhere else in the world. This operator, and I'll quote the situation, the operator zooms in on 3 young men wearing baseball caps. He gets so close to them that I can read the brand of their mobile phone. Theoretically, explained the operator, I can read the text message that they're sending. Is that what we want when we walk down the streets of Colorado Springs? I think not. Another private moment noticed in 2004 in New York City, and this is concerning people that live in lofts downtown. Police officers were surveilling a nearby protest rally using surveillance cameras with night vision. One of the officers shifted the focus of the camera away from protesters and recorded nearly 4 minutes of a couple's intimate activities on the terrace of their private 2nd Avenue residence. Anybody live downtown? I'd be concerned. How race and gender enter into this picture is another interesting fact. Now, there aren't any published studies about race, gender issues with videotaping in the United States. However, 2 criminologists in England revealed a clear racial basis in police officer video monitoring of civilian populations. And this was the Journal of Surveillance and Science. This is their summarized findings. 40% of people were targeted for no obvious reason, mainly on the basis of belonging to a particular subcultural group. Black people were between 1.5 and 2.5 times more likely to be surveyed than one would expect from their presence in the population. 30% of the surveillances on blacks were protracted, lasting 9 minutes or more, compared with just 10% on white people. People were selected primarily based on the operators' negative attitudes towards male youth in general and black youth in particular. Women's privacy rights are also particularly vulnerable to video surveillance. Upskirting and down blousing has occurred on college campuses and streets throughout our country, and in fact, police officers have engaged in this very conduct. And this is from an Associated Press article describing the following scenario. The remote control camera located at an intersection near a row of nightclubs, sounds like Tejon Street, usually shows traffic. But officials said someone at the state trooper's office diverted the camera focus to pedestrians in the pre-dawn hours Friday. Footage broadcast citywide on a cable TV channel showed several people, and the camera zoomed in on the breasts and buttocks of young women. If that's what you want to happen in downtown Colorado Springs, I won't be coming to downtown Colorado Springs. I won't come down here if there are cameras. These are just a few of the harms that can come from video surveillance. The fact is, no researcher has ever produced conclusive evidence that cameras deter crime. In fact, Congress determined a comprehensive investigation into the surveillance of federal property in Washington, D.C. The General Accounting Office interviewed public officials from 4 American cities that used video surveillance. They toured their closed caption control rooms, and the final report from the General Accounting Office concluded that there was simply not enough evidence to determine whether cameras were preventing crime. Studies in England have also come up with the same inconclusive evidence. Most recent survey evaluated 13 local surveillance programs. They compared the crime rates in those 13 surveilled program areas with control areas without surveillance cameras, and only one of those 13 did crime significantly decrease. In fact, in 7 of them, crime increased. I don't want to see crime increase in downtown Colorado Springs because we have cameras instead of cops. So in conclusion, the fact is no researcher has ever produced conclusive evidence that cameras deter crime, and there are only limited places to which surveillance cameras are not allowed to intrude. There are virtually no rules prohibiting police, private entities from archiving, selling, or freely transmitting the images captured by the video camera surveillance. The courts have yet to address the fundamental privacy issues and association issues rights implicated by video surveillance. Today, I've outlined the nature and magnitude of the harm posed by the proliferation of video surveillance cameras, and it's now incumbent upon you, City Council, to really take this at its seriousness and take it as it's required. And I do thank you for considering this. And I ask you to reject the video surveillance pilot program and instead enact a comprehensive, well-crafted ordinance that recognizes video surveillance affects fundamental rights, privacy, and liberties, and the use of such technology should not dilute the individual's interest in enjoying their liberties and personal privacy. I ask the Council to continue to protect the rights and liberties of the residents of Colorado Springs, and I thank you.